Always great catching up with my next guest, Mackenzie Dern, who is back in action. She's getting one more fight in this year. She's going to be taking on Virna Jandiroba, UFC 256 on December 12th. Mackenzie, how are you?
I'm good, James. Thanks for having me. It's always fun to be on here with you. So thanks for having me, and I'm so excited. One more fight this year. I can't complain. It's been a hard year for so many people, so I definitely am very grateful. I guess Thanksgiving tomorrow, so I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to be able to fight one more time this year.
Excellent. What an intro. That was awesome. And I got to point out to our listeners or our audience that you're using a new tripod, so I got to give you props for that. It looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's better than holding it on your hand. I think we've done interviews in the past. I've always felt so bad. I'm like, your wrist must get tired, so I appreciate that. But yeah, quick turnaround from the last fight. I mean, I'm sure you're thrilled to get another fight in. I know that's what we talked about. When did you actually find out about this opportunity?
Was like really pretty right after Randa. I think I fought Randa was in September.
Yeah.
So right away I was like, hey, I really want to fight again. And then was just having to try to find. Of course, I wasn't not that I don't want to fight Virna. I don't have a problem to fight her or anything like that. But I was looking for maybe someone higher in the ranks than me.
Of course, yeah.
So she wasn't the first option. I was like, man, I was really trying to find someone higher, but everyone's looking for someone higher than them, so I understand. And she was the next option that was hey, yeah, let's do it, so I'm really happy that she accepted the fight, and I think it's going to be fun. It was I don't know, maybe 2 weeks after my fight Randa, they confirmed it, and December and everything, so now I'm seeing I think it's one of the cards that you don't really know all the people that are on the card yet. It's still every day it's coming out some new fights that have been confirmed for this card. So I'm just every time I'm like, man, okay, Ferguson and the Bronx, and all these people, Sagan and all these guys. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a cool card. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, I almost think the cards, you could almost argue it's a little bit better in the sense that, having Ferguson on the card is huge, and you've got the flyweight title fight, just the coolness of that, where they both fought last week. They're going to be fighting for the title in a couple weeks. So I just think that's super cool with Figueroa and Moreno. So yeah, it's going to be a really good card. And the other cool thing about this fight, I think, is I know last time we spoke, you'd kind of, switch coaches. You were working with Jason Parillo. So you're going to have a full camp with them this time, as opposed to last time where it was kind of interrupted mid-camp. So that must be kind of cool for you heading into the fight.
Oh, I'm so excited, James. I'm the last time I was like, man, I'm so disappointed. I didn't really get to show my striking, from just 4 weeks working with him. And I don't want to jinx myself and say oh, I really want to show my striking on this fight. I'm fighting a jiu-jitsu girl too. So I don't want to say anything beforehand, it's going to be a striking match or a ground match. I think I definitely want to use my ground game as far as as far as he can take me. I want to use my jiu-jitsu, and I think that on the best moment, maybe I don't know if I can't take them down, or when I really need to show it, it will be there, because man, I'm having such a good I'm evolving so much my striking. Just everyone on the academy is complimenting me. Nice. And man, it's such a big difference, from my last coach to this coach, and just it's I'm sparring every day, and it's fun for me to spar. I'm so excited to go. It's not something tense for me anymore. It's I'm moving around. I can I have the option to go to the ground, and I'm standing up. So it's so good to kind of fall in love for the sport, being a jiu-jitsu girl, fall in love for the striking part of it. And I'm really happy that Coach Parillo introduced that to me and brought me there. I think it's just made me see my potential as way higher, now.
Yeah, you want to be more well-rounded, like you were saying. And by the way, that last fight, I don't think people thought Randa was going to take it to the ground. She did. She even admitted that. I mean, before her last fight, it's she wasn't planning on going to the ground, but you have to take that opportunity, right? You don't get paid by the hour, so you gotta take advantage of, what opportunities come. So yeah, maybe this fight we'll end up seeing it here. But yeah, Jandiroba, great opponent. I mean, 16-1 record. She's been beating a lot of really impressive opponents. Style-wise, how do you look at this fight?
I think it's one of the fights that I at least know what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I can't imagine what's going through her mind strategic wise. I think even though she's a jiu-jitsu girl, she's not world champion jiu-jitsu or sport jiu-jitsu. She has a lot of submissions, but kind of more for the MMA world and these types of things. So I imagine she probably thinks her striking is better than mine, just because obviously I'm not the best striker in the in the game. So I don't know. I'm just prepared for whatever it is. If it's stand up, if it's ground, if it's clinch and cage work, or if it's kind of like just try to do points and get out and move around. I'm ready for everything. So I'm really like excited, but at the same time, I'm like, I have no idea what's going to be the
unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, that's the sort of one of the things when you go in there with an opponent that's not as obvious in terms of what she does, right? So I think that'll be interesting. By the way, I got to give you credit. Did you not drop Amanda Cooper when you guys fought, right?
Yeah, I did. I mean,
that was before Parillo, right? So who knows even now how good it's going to look, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what's so good is that like Parillo kind of like helped me get all my aggression, I think, because that's a lot of kind of just me going at it and throwing like these haymakers that they say, and just throwing anything, and he's just kind of guiding me to like bring it in and focus onto one spot, so I hope I can show a little bit of it, but hey, I'm excited to do a jiu-jitsu fight too, for the fans. And I think usually they say, oh, when the two jiu-jitsu fighters, they go against each other, it becomes a striking match, And I don't know. I think Virna, she's really confident on her ground too. So maybe she'll try to take me down in, the first minute and pressure and Dana Maya style. So I'm ready to, go for leg locks, foot locks, triangles, everything too. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, remember Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman last year? They're like, it's going to be boring. They're going to wrestle each other. They stood standing the whole fight, right? So you never know when two fighters go in there. So I am intrigued by that, to see how the fight sort of plays out in terms of that. For Jason Parillo, it must be kind of rewarding for him as well because, he's done wonders with so many fighters over the years. Michael Bisping, Chris Cyborg, like to get to work with you as someone that hasn't really tapped into her striking as much. Do you kind of notice that? Like, I'm sure you guys are both benefiting from this relationship.
I mean, I don't know. He's just so laid back, He's so like in his own world, and
he's a very serious guy, but in a good way. I've interviewed him before. He's a very nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's so great. I definitely feel like he's giving me so much attention. It's me and Chito Vera. He's fighting Jose Aldo the week after me. So it's kind of cool to have another person in camp with me. Because, Ruka's more of a private gym, So the fact that like coach is there with us like all the time, and I don't know, he doesn't like. He doesn't like give me too much like, oh, you're doing so good. Oh, no. He like keeps me pretty grounded. I'm always like, okay, were you happy with this round? What do you think? And just trying to like kind of get Coach Parillo's praise. Like it's almost
it means
like,
more because he's not being like a yes man. He's not like you're doing so great. It's like if you do something bad, I'll be like you got to work on that, right?
Yeah. He's definitely like good criticism and stuff like that, but it's almost like a father figure a little bit, how my dad always kind of, my dad was always so proud of me, but he never like let me, like just think of all these things of myself, and always just making me try to get better and better. So that's how I feel with my coaching, with my striking, with Coach Parillo. He's like always giving me that little bit like thirsty to come back tomorrow and try something new that he told me to do, like, okay, no, I need to come back tomorrow. Can we have training tomorrow, coach? He's like, yeah, let's go, And so it's really cool to see, how I think he's proud of me as a grappler,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We'll see. I'm always trying to like get his make him proud. So we'll see.
Get recognition, kind of what you're saying there. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So you mentioned Chito Vera. So I do have to bring this up because obviously Chito beat your friend Sean O'Malley. Like, is that odd at all? Or are you guys kind of like if he starts saying stuff about Sean, are you kind of like, I got to leave the room? Like, how? I know that fight is over, but was that something that was ever discussed? Because you're friends with both of them, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I saw Sean had a baby, and I'm so happy for him. It's such a different. A new phase of our lives. So it's really cool to see like these people who are like, my age or like kind of our generation having like kids and all these things. And even Jose, Jose, he's a good friend of mine. I trained down with him in Brazil when I was down there. So it's like, I mean, I know how like they are in the academy. They talk, they, like tease each other and talking like Chito says, oh, you're going to send like stuff to Jose, like Brazil, we like laugh it off, and it's all cool. I think the fact that I'm a girl, like they play, but they still have like their guy talk, and I'm always like focused on my girl stuff, and just trying to fix my hair and stuff like that. So, but it's all cool, I think they know that like I'm friends with almost most of the guys. So
yeah, no, that's good. Who else do you get to work with in terms of training partners?
I train with Luke Rockhold.
Oh, really? Oh, so Luke's over there. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I trained with him like yesterday, moving around, he's fun. He's definitely a fun guy. He's obviously so so much taller, but it's
he's
great.
Huge. I couldn't believe he fought at middleweight. He looks like a heavyweight. Like that's how tall he is.
Yeah, and it's when I train with Tabata Ruchi, Yasmin. I don't know her last name, but she's a jiu-jitsu girl coming into the MMA world now, so really cool. Max Tucker, just these.
I like these names though. These are up and comers we got to keep an eye on, right? So I like hearing the shine from them. Let me ask you this: with Rockhold, I don't know how much you've trained with him, but is he going to come back and fight? We've heard that he's not retired, but then we haven't heard any fight news. And Chris Weidman got booked, so I don't know where. I don't know. Do you get the sense he's going to fight again?
I don't know. I mean, he did sparring today, and he was going after it today, So I don't know what his plans are. I haven't talked to him about, what he's doing. He's definitely been in the academy, pretty good, decently, and helping all the other people. So I think he's on point, with his training and everything like that. Obviously, I think if he has a fight, he's gonna definitely intensify it more. But I'm not sure what his plans are. I definitely hope he fights again. I'm always excited to watch him fight.
No, he's great. And you look at who's lost to him. I mean, it's Blachowicz is the champ now. Like it's crazy. Like I think people overstate some of his losses a little bit. But we got Thanksgiving tomorrow, like I mentioned. How's the weight cut going? Got to bring that up because I know it sucks kind of that you got Thanksgiving, but you can always put the turkey in the freezer, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because like my stepmom is out here helping me, for camp tubing with MOA. And all these things. So she's like vegan. So it actually kind of helps,
Oh, that's good. Yeah. It's good to have a vegan in the house when you got a fight coming up, right? So
exactly, because I'm not vegan. So, I mean, nothing against the food, anything like that. I'm sure it probably tastes good and everything. But I'm like, so I don't even eat too much anyway, So the weight's doing good. I'm really happy about it. I was 120 this week. So, I mean, just 4 pounds left in 2 weeks.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, yeah, good for you.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like I've been training, this is the most I've been training close to the weight that I'm going to fight at. The last 2 fights, I was able to kind of, see how my weight is the day of the fight. And both the days I was 119 and 120. So this is I think the longest camp I've been training consistently at the weight that I'm going to be fighting at. So I feel like I'm going to feel like this, the day of.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Jason Parillo and my dad.
Oh yeah, that's right. Obviously, that's very cool. How's the fight playing out? Knockout? I mean, this is something we talked about last time. Maybe will we see a knockout? We'll see.
I don't know. I definitely I'm going for the bonus. I'm not like I said. It's every time for me to think to win the belt was kind of a very in the distance. I have to think about my next fight. It's now each time every day I'm training more and more. And I'm involving so much. It's I'm not thinking going into the fight to win. I'm going in the fight to get the bonus. I'm going in the fight to go the ranks. I'm going in the fight to be the champion. It's I feel like it's so close, this goal. So yeah, if it's going to be a crazy submission or a knockout, that's my goal, is to get this to get the fight of the night or performance bonus and really show hey, I think I'm number 11 now. I think 11 or 12. I'm not sure, but 11. And, to really show hey, because she's behind me, she's, I think 13 or something, so I want to win good, give me some more spots, I want to go a little bit higher.
Yeah. And a finish will do that if someone's ranked lower than you, right? So that's why it kind of, that's what's going to help your case to move up the rankings, right? Is if you get that finish, right? It looks more impressive. So
yeah, win good, not close or anything like that, win good.
After this, you already beat Randa Marcos. You finished Randa Marcos too. That's got to get you either a big name opponent or a highly ranked fighter, I would think, after this. Is that kind of what you're thinking here if you get a big win?
Definitely. That's like I said, I wanted kind of that opponent now, so definitely if I win this, the goal, I don't know, maybe April, kind of that time zone, try to fight, I don't know, top 4, 3, 2, I don't know. I've been watching all the girls, the Yan
Xiaoyan Yan. I believe that's how you say it. I interviewed her and I still don't know how to say it properly, so I'm doing my best.
Yeah, so I'm watching all these girls, and man, they're so good. It's just pushing me and pushing me to okay, I want to get there, I want to be where they are, I feel I can be there, you know. So definitely I'm hoping I can prove myself in this fight and I can get the opportunity on the next fight. And I don't know, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. I know with like the president changing, I don't know what's going to happen with the COVID and all these things. So like I said, I'm so happy that I'm able to get this fight like in a couple of weeks, because I don't know if they're going to close or what they're going to do next year.
Yeah.
But
no, it's true. Yeah.
Hopefully if everything like gets better, you know, it just keeps progressing like in a good way. Like around April, I can get like a big name, you know, and we'll see who they offer.
Very cool. Yeah, and I was going to actually ask you about that. So I guess probably not going back to Brazil for the holidays, I wouldn't think, like in December because of all the COVID stuff. Or what are your holiday plans? Like, we've got Thanksgiving tomorrow, but what about Christmas and stuff?
Yeah, we're gonna stay here. We're gonna go to the snow. My husband's never been to the snow. You know, we were gonna go to Brazil, but he's in the process of his green card right now, so he's not able to leave right now.
Oh, right. Yeah. I know that can be tricky, right? Because I think if you go, then you can't get back, right, or something.
Yeah, and usually it's okay, like the process that he has, but because of the COVID, like or the documents need to be like completely finished, you know, or he needs like a permission to go, and he can't get that right now. So, or at least we're still waiting, so we'll see. But the plan is to stay here, and I do have to go to Brazil for a couple of things, but just quick say hi to the family and come back, and then just back to training, you know.
Awesome.
I think we're gonna go to Hawaii in January.
Oh, well, there you go. That's amazing. That's close to Brazil. Like in terms of the weather and all that stuff, right? Like the tropical. Oh, that's what I'm getting at. Obviously, they're not the same. Yeah. I can already see someone in the YouTube comments being like, "They're not the same, man." It's like, no, that's not what I meant. But yeah, that's fine. So there you go. No. Mackenzie, thank you so much for doing this. I know you're busy, and we definitely went over time, so I really appreciate that. Anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors? Any social media you want to plug? I'll give you the last word.
No, I mean, just thanks to all the fans, everyone who's been watching. Thank you, obviously. Thank you, you know, my family, and I'm excited. I really hope to put on a show for everyone, and I hope, you know, people like can start to believe and see like, hey, I have everything to be like a champion, and I think there's a lot of big things, so I'm excited to show like the new Mackenzie.